Hey everybody. I'm not sure who's going to join me tonight, but uh it's not going to be all somber, but it's just something that my family deals with every year on this date. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about grief and all the things. Okay? So, I got actually this right today. Last week or 2 weeks ago when I was doing this with Siggy, Candor with Kids, I accidentally had the wrong First of all, I did the wrong intro, and then I had the wrong little thing up there. Whoopsie. So I'm going to roll the intro, and I'll be right back. Boom! Let's do this. I always use Canva for my things. I think I've told you that. Didn't feel like adding my picture to this one. So, we're going to talk about grief, as I said. I'll put the banner up again. Grief and all the things. So there's a difference with grieving, right? When something happens and then on the anniversary of death, particularly. So like losing a loved one, they go to the great beyond. So today is that anniversary for my family, and it was my niece, who was only 3 years, 3 months at the time. And it was an accident, and I'm not going to talk anything more about it, and none of the details. That's not important. But it was just she was not in my brother-in-law and sister's care, and that's all we got to know. But it's shocking when you're just bopping about your day and then something like that happens. So I'm going to, and this is why this time of year, and I've talked about this before with the pressures of stuff, like you have to go and just do this and post. And you know what? I just decided I'm going to be me. And I'm going to post if I feel like it, and I'm not going to if I don't feel like it. Now, the one thing I like to be consistent with is Candor with Katie. I need to be more consistent with other things. But, I was doing Candor with Katie every week, and then I thought, maybe I should just do every other week. So right now that's working. Who knows how I'll change it in the future. But today is about talking about losing a loved one and how you deal with it after it happens and then years down the road. And then just some tips for dealing with it, because, I'm not the only one out here that has lost someone they love. So this is Hazel Catherine Lunn. Yes, the Catherine part, she was named after me. And so she was born 10 years ago in July 31st, which was also my brother-in-law's birthday. Look at that little chubby. So she would have been around, this is around Christmas time, so she would have been around 6 months old here. And then this was in Canada, and she looks like a little ballerina running around on the lawn. So that I don't know how old she was there, because she could have been 3 here. And this was, I remember this, I took this picture, I think just a few weeks before we lost her. And then this is one of my favorite little things I put together. She had super, super curly hair, and she was funny. She didn't talk a lot. She and Siggy are a lot different in that respect. But that's it for the pictures that I have to share. And it's, so you're always gonna remember somebody. The pain will get a little less and less, but you're always going to remember them. And there could be something new that comes up. You never know. So this time of year is weird. It always starts, my sister and I always talk about this. It always starts about mid-October and then through Thanksgiving pretty much. So after today, hopefully I do think about posting stuff and whatever, but this is why I do the other stuff I do, where I share funny things in my stories, funny videos, other people's stuff. And so I'm having people send me stuff, and then I'll tag you in the story, which I love. So please keep doing that. So we'll talk about this today. I got some information from this site. This is kind of interesting. I'm going to share this screen really quickly here. I get my information from a lot of places. But this one, I really dug the way they kind of broke everything down simply, So this is the site. So if you're looking at it, it's just, it tells you all the ways that you can cope with stuff. And this is like wills, probate, funerals, advice. This is UK's attitude, but it's got good information. So, writing your will online, that kind of thing. And then why choose this stuff. But they've got some pretty good advice in here. So I can put this, remember the link, right? I'll put it in the chat too. Or, yeah, I guess it's not where you can see it all the time. So some of the information, they broke it down. So how to help, and then some advice. Okay. So really there's no amount of time, but I'm specifically talking today more about how you keep dealing with it day after day and year after year. And sometimes the judgment that comes with it, right? So as I was saying, you'll never be over it, but it will soften, so to speak. And like, it's silly. Like, even if you lose something like this, and this is a really thing that's close to you, then you grieve a little bit of loss. For most people, the grief symptoms start subsiding at 6 months to a year. Sometimes it depends on the type of loss. Okay. It's normal to still feel some grief years after a death, especially on special occasions. Is there anybody out there that feels grief over a lost pet? Maybe it's a pet from childhood even. I mean, loss is loss, right? Especially when they die, because there's no talking to them or seeing them again. Okay. Hang on. I don't know if I shared. Oh, I did share that. Okay, sorry. Grieving for longer or less time isn't necessarily unhealthy. How long you grieve will depend on who you have lost, how they died, and a whole range of factors that are beyond your control. So here are some of those factors, okay? If someone dies suddenly, leaving things unsaid. Oh, we got a comment. Good. Christy says, oh, yes, Katie, this is a very hard season this year. Love you, my beautiful friend. You too, Chrissy. Thank you so much. And you know what? I love my peeps that reach out, but I get it too, you guys. When we had her funeral, her celebration of life, I had friends. I mean, I think we had like thousands of people there, and I had all of my friends. And I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of acquaintances. They all came. They never met her, and it was amazing. And so I've posted about this before, but I've never talked about it. And so today I thought this is a good time to talk about it, because I am a little non-present, so to speak. Okay, so the way they died, was it unexpected or violent? Unexpected, particularly, is hard. Having a difficult relationship with them. So had you argued and stuff? What was the last thing you said to them? Losing more than one person in a short space of time. Probably span of time would have been better to say. But some people, they'll lose their grandmother, then they lose their father, and then their cousin dies, maybe a friend. And that gets to be really difficult, being present when they die, or not being present and feeling guilty. So this plays a factor too. Are any of these ones that you've thought of? Have you thought of any of these at all? Not having enough information about someone who has died. Now, this to me is really interesting, because these would be like the missing person cases. Give me a comment or something if you think it would be harder to not know. Is there a circumstance that you don't want to know? I mean, I think the grieving process is much different if you don't know, because I think maybe there's always hope out there. Who knows? But being unable to mourn properly, such as when a body is not available for the funeral. So that would be like that example I used there. Unhealthy coping tactics like drinking too much, whatever it is. Losing a child. So that's the one I'm talking about today. The Lullaby Trust supports bereaved parents through this unique kind of loss. So this is that website that I was sharing with you. So that's a really, really hard one. All right, Jennifer Taylor. This is a super hard topic for me, but I'll always be there for others that are grieving, and just hold their hands if they need me. Yeah, Jennifer, it is. It's hard. Thank you for that. And you know what? That's the empathy. That's what people need. So when it happened, I thought I was going to lose my sister, and we're really, really close. And I was grieving for that also, because I just thought she was not going to be around anymore. I mean, because there's a lot of there's struggles there too anyway, but I had requested for people at first. Oh great, I think the dogs are going to start barking. Still have their dogs right now. But I had said, don't reach out to me, don't text me, don't call me, don't post about stuff, and I'll tell you when I'm ready. And so everybody has, that different grieving process. Oh geez, I hope the dogs don't keep barking. Okay, so I got a couple more comments. Oh wait, Jennifer says, my second mom, my mom's identical twin sister, and my cousins died in a plane wreck. Oh gosh, that is awful. I'm so sorry. And then Heather says, I just found out a coworker passed this weekend. I spoke with them recently. My heart has been heavy. So these kind of things make me want to cry. That's sad. I've fantasized that they're in witness protection. Jennifer, I like that idea. I'm sorry, Heather, about that. And that's really hard too. So I've grieved and I've cried over people that I lose like that. And maybe someone reaches out to me in Messenger and I don't respond well or hardly at all. And then I hear they pass and then I just feel so much regret. And it's really unfair to do to yourself, because it is hard. So then I have some ways of coping with grief from this article also. Okay. So sometimes that's stopping to take a breath and you stop and feel the emotion. It's okay to feel sadness and vulnerable. Find a creative way to express how you feel. Take up painting or drawing, journal, write a letter to your lost one, maybe try a new hobby, spend more time with others you love. Death tends to put things in perspective. Has this happened for anyone? Death, that happens for me a lot. Even if it's somebody I don't know, you know what I mean? I tend to think life is too short. Let go of your expectations of grief. It's okay. So 10 years later, I'm not crying every day like I did. And, but I still have moments. I still cry sometimes. Driving in the car, you hear a song, something like that. Okay, got another comment. So Chrissy says, I've done that. I write to my mom. It always makes me feel better. Oh, that's awesome, Chrissy. I love that you do that. And, sometimes you can do that and just burn it or rip it up or whatever. And you don't have to, obviously you're not going to send it to somebody that you lost in this way, but it does make you feel better. It's okay to have joyful moments, to feel happy about things and take in the beauty of the things around you. Hang on, I'm going to put this on mute for a second. Come on. Sorry. I hope that didn't come out there. So now they're just going to be crazy. It's okay to have joyful moments because sometimes people feel guilty when they're grieving, especially if it's right away. But it is like, I enjoy nature so much. That's one of my healers. So I would love to sit outside under a tree, sit next to a lake, listen to a lake, I guess these dogs are keeping it more light for me, right? But remember to take care of yourself. Okay. Maybe it's the time to make other plans, start traveling more, volunteering, whatever suits you, okay? And then I'm going to finish with 14 ways to remember a loved one on the anniversary. A loved one on the anniversary of their loss. So visit their gravesite or place of rest, or if you have an urn or something, or their favorite place, write them a letter. Look through old photographs. This can be really hard, but it's also cathartic. Listen to their favorite song. Volunteer for a cause, one they cherished or makes sense for you. So like if you lose someone due to domestic violence, let's say, maybe you start volunteering or donating toward that. This is great with the dogs. Sorry, guys. Donate to a charity they loved or for them in that certain circumstance. Make their favorite meal on this day and eat it. Set a place for them at the table. That's a little strange to me, but it's fine. Guys, stop. Light a candle, visit a meaningful place at a restaurant, a park, a country estate, or a site. And then they added this one, which is kind of the same to me. Travel to somewhere they loved or a place you shared together. So I love Norway. I'm going to go back. I celebrate their birth, not their death. I like that. Pam, that's good. And Pam, actually, are you a death doula? So whatever works for you, right? So you can celebrate that the day of their birthday or like just all the other things. So that's an amazing thing to say. Thank you. Gather with others and spend time in nature. That's my favorite thing. These dogs keep me, So anyway, I'll finish with my final thoughts and then tell you all my things and then we'll be done. So she says, yes, death doula, stop. So I'll have to interview Pam maybe someday. And she can tell us about that. So Christine says, I find myself crying in the shower often or in the car. Anything can set me off to remind me of my dad who passed 2 years ago. We weren't able to have a service at the time, so his ashes are on my mantelpiece. I think when we finally have a small memorial, it might help with closure. Super good point. Lots of big hugs to you. I'm so sorry. I know. I think about you guys. I think about my parents all the time. So my dad's 85 and my mom's 82. So the day after Thanksgiving, I'm flying to El Paso. I'm renting a car. I'm driving it to Alamogordo. They're going to pick me up. And then 2 days later, we're leaving. They're coming here and they're going to be here for a few months. Finally, pandemic, they haven't been here for a few years. I'm sure you've seen that I've gone to visit them, but I think about this all the time. So And then you think about the loss of other ones. And so cherish the time you have and really make the most of it, and make those good memories. So the bottom line is do things for you and for others who are suffering with the same, if you have that capability, like Jennifer Taylor said. It's a really hard time for her, but she can just sit there and be with people. And that's really important, like I said. And that's the difference between sympathy and empathy. A sympathetic person might try and offer a bunch of advice. As a person that is empathic, I'm sorry, and I'm here with you, okay? And that's really all people need sometimes, truly. During an anniversary of loss, research something to do or do what makes you feel good. So maybe they loved karate, and you could take a karate lesson. Or they loved plants, so you buy a plant and you learn how to take care of it. It's okay to take a break and isolate a bit. I do this a little bit, as you can all tell sometimes. And it's okay to tell people you need space. Okay? So I always say I'm dichotomous because I say I'm really laid back, but I'm also really intense. And I'm really outgoing, but I'm also like, I need my space. And I'm not an introverted extrovert. I'm completely an extrovert, but I still need my time. So it doesn't mean that I don't need my time. I need my space to process and all of those things. And I have a hard time because I go through stuff, and I'm just not going to spew everything out there, but I do want to share stuff with you. I want to share my life, and I want to tell you what's going on. And sometimes I feel, for lack of a better word, stupid, I guess. And so I think it's important to talk about this stuff because maybe somebody else is feeling that, and you need just some way to think about stuff to get through it, it's different for everyone. So when some people are saying, hey, it's been 6 months, you should be over this by now. No, if your body isn't telling you, now listen, if you're doing things and you're hurting yourself and you're not able to function, that's when you need to start getting the help. Okay. So Chrissy says, it will be a year, December 28th, of my mom's death. I am just so blessed I was able to see her at Christmas time at the nursing home. I got to kiss her, and that is my best memory I'll have of my mom. Absolutely. And I think I have, I don't remember who it was, but was able to make it to their mother's passing and got to have a conversation and everything. So like I said in my closing statements, do what's best for you, even if you think it looks weird or it's stupid. Don't tell anybody, maybe, just take care of you and do the best that you can, and make sure that you're still functioning, that you're not declining. Okay. It's okay to feel all these emotions, but you got to try and figure out all the other things to try and keep you on. It's okay to stay here for a while. You'll get up there at some point, and it's okay to remember. It's been 10 years. I'm never going to forget. It seems like a different lifetime. Sometimes it's strange. Pam said, I had my mom laughing on her deathbed and rolling her eyes at me. I roll. That's amazing, Pam. That's amazing. All right. I'm done here. So unless anybody wants to chime in before I go, what Sid Squatch says. And, he hasn't posted. I'm very sorry. The journey begins with you, so be good to yourself. He will apologize for that too. He kind of grieves with me, so at least I have something. And my friend Heather Bennett gave me this. How cute is this? It's it's a Highland Games Smurf. I am not Scottish, but I do compete in the Highland Games. So now he's got another little pal to hang out with, except that he's standing and then Sid Squatch is sitting. So you guys have a great evening. I'll see you in a couple of weeks here. You remember that I love you. Always wishing you peace and love. I'm always here if you need me to. Thanks for letting me talk about this. I hope it helped a little bit. I hope that whatever you're going through, it's something that you can get through and that you feel better once you do. And sometimes we learn a lot from these kind of experiences. So take that with you too, and change or do something different or whatever it is. Chrissy, we love you, Katie. I love you too, Chrissy. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you in 2 weeks.